Gentlemen, let's be real for a moment. How many times have you wondered, am I actually giving her the kind of pleasure she craves? It's not something you'd ask your friends over coffee, and you won't find an honest answer in most places online. Because the world of pornography and locker room bravado has fed men more lies than truth when it comes to sex. Here's the deal. The way you move, the way you thrust, and the way you control yourself in bed can make the difference between leaving her quietly unsatisfied or making her body and mind light up in a way that keeps her coming back for more. I want to show you the second path. Today, I'm going to give you 5 medically backed, real-world techniques that every man should know to instantly improve intimacy, last longer, and actually give her the experience she wants, not the one you think she wants. So, before we get into it, take a second right now, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel if you're new, and drop a quick comment telling me where are you watching from. I always love seeing the community of men from around the world come together here. Now, let's bust a few myths, and then we'll dive into the 5 tips women wish more men knew. Here's the first myth. Sex is about size and speed. That's the message men pick up from porn. Bigger, faster, harder. But in reality, that's not what creates true satisfaction for most women. Science tells a different story. In fact, studies consistently show that for women, technique, emotional connection, and attentiveness are far more important than size or how long you can jackhammer away. Think about it biologically. The female body responds to rhythm, variety, clitoral stimulation, and emotional presence, not endless pounding. Yet many men, good men, carry around silent anxiety, thinking they're not enough. And that anxiety shows up in the bedroom, finishing too quickly, getting stuck in their head, missing the signal she's giving. So let's clear the air. You don't need to be bigger. You need to be smarter, more present, and more in tune with her body. And that's where I come in. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Narita. I'm a board-certified urologist with 12 years of experience working directly with men's health and intimacy. I've spoken with thousands of men in their 30s, 50s, 70s, who all ask the same question in different ways. How can I be better in bed? How can I last longer? How can I make sure my partner is truly satisfied? And after 12 years, I can tell you this. There's a pattern. The men who get it right aren't always the fittest, the youngest, or the most endowed. They're the men who listen, adapt, and apply a few key techniques that work with female biology, not against it. So let's get into those 5 game-changing tips. Tip number 1, start slow. Let me ask you, when you first get intimate, what's your instinct? For most men, arousal builds quickly, and the urge is to dive right in with speed and intensity. But here's the problem. The female body isn't built like that. Biologically, women take longer to become fully aroused. The vaginal walls need time to relax and expand. Blood flow needs to build in her pelvic region. Lubrication increases gradually. If you go in too hard, too fast, her body may not be ready. That means discomfort, even pain, and emotionally it can leave her feeling disconnected. So what's the fix? Patience. Start slow. Think of it like warming up before a workout. Gentle, deliberate thrusts at first. Shallow entry. Focus on closeness and connection. What happens biologically? Her blood vessels dilate. The vaginal opening expands naturally, and nerve endings become more sensitive. Emotionally, she feels cared for. Practically, you're setting the stage for pleasure that builds instead of fizzles out. Trust me, when you slow down at the beginning, you'll unlock more intensity later. Tip number 2, tease her. Here's where most men miss an opportunity. Teasing is one of the most powerful tools you can use. Why? Because sexual pleasure is not just about stimulation. It's about anticipation. When you build her arousal and then deliberately pull back for a moment, her body craves more. You're literally programming her nervous system to respond more intensely when you give it back. Here's how you do it in practice. Find a rhythm she clearly enjoys. Stay with it for a bit, then deliberately slow down. Shorter strokes, less intensity. Watch how her body reacts. She may squirm, pull you closer, even beg for more. When you finally return to that rhythm, the pleasure multiplies. But here's the warning. Don't tease right before she's about to climax. That can feel like stealing the moment. Teasing works best early on to build anticipation. Think of it this way. Would you rather hand her a single spark or light a fire that keeps burning? Teasing gives her the fire. Tip number 3, vary your tempo. Here's a mistake I see men make all the time. They find a rhythm that feels good and then they stay stuck there. Same depth, same angle, same speed. It works for a while, but the body adapts. Nerve endings desensitize. What felt incredible 5 minutes ago starts to feel repetitive. The solution? Variety. Sometimes slow and deep, sometimes fast and shallow, sometimes pause entirely and switch positions. Biologically, this keeps nerve endings alert. Emotionally, it keeps her guessing in the best way. Practically, it helps you manage stamina because you're not exhausting yourself with one pattern. So, remember this. Rhythm is good, but variety keeps the symphony alive. Tip number 4, use grinding, not just thrusting. This one is a game changer. Most men think sex is all about in and out penetration. But here's the secret. For most women, the clitoris, not the vagina, is the most sensitive source of pleasure. Now, the clitoris isn't just the small nub you see externally. It's a larger structure that extends under the skin, wrapping around the vaginal canal. That means when you press your pelvis against hers, grinding, not just thrusting, you're stimulating a huge network of nerves. Try this in positions like missionary or when she's on top. Focus on grinding motions, circles, angle pressure, or steady rocking. Keep your pelvis close. Maintain that firm contact. Biologically, you're hitting her most responsive nerve network. Emotionally, she feels enveloped and deeply connected. Practically, grinding helps you last longer because it's less stimulating for you than fast thrusting. That's a win-win. She gets more of what she wants and you gain control. Tip number 5, pay attention. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Pay attention. Your greatest tool in the bedroom isn't your size, your stamina, or even these techniques. It's your awareness, her breathing, her sounds, the way her body moves against you. These are constant signals telling you what feels good and what doesn't. Every woman is different. What worked for one partner may not work for another. Porn doesn't teach you this. Locker room stories don't teach you this. But her body will tell you everything if you listen. Biologically, tuning in helps you adjust to her arousal cycle in real time. Emotionally, it shows her you care deeply. Practically, it keeps you from falling into robotic patterns that bore both of you. Presence is power. Don't just go through the motions, be there with her. So, let's put this together into an action plan. Start slow, let her body warm up, tease early, build anticipation, mix your tempo. Variety beats monotony, grind as well as thrust. Maximize her pleasure while buying your self-control. Stay present, listen, adapt, and respond. Practice these 5 steps and you'll notice changes almost immediately, not just in her reactions, but in your own confidence. Now, let me pause for a moment because I know some of you may be feeling pressure. Maybe you've struggled with stamina before. Maybe you felt like you've let a partner down. Maybe you're worried you're too old or past your prime. Let me tell you the truth. It's never too late to improve. I've worked with men in their 60s, even 80s, who discovered that with the right techniques and a little attention to their health, they could become better lovers than they were in their 20s. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about presence, connection, and small adjustments that make a big difference. So, breathe. You're not broken, you're learning. And that alone already puts you ahead of most men. Gentlemen, here's the bottom line. Women don't want a performance. They want an experience. When you slow down, tease, vary, grind, and truly pay attention, you're not just giving her pleasure. You're giving her safety, confidence, and connection. And in return, you'll feel her desire, her trust, and her passion grow for you. That's not about tricks. That's about being the kind of man who understands that real intimacy is both physical and emotional. So the next time you're with your partner, don't ask yourself, am I good enough? Ask yourself, am I listening? Am I connecting? Am I making this moment about us, not just me? If the answer is yes, then you're already giving her more than 90% of men ever will. Now, if you found this helpful, don't forget, like this video. It really helps more men find this message. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss the health and intimacy advice that makes a real difference. And drop a comment below. Tell me what tip resonated with you most, or ask a question you'd like me to answer in a future video. Remember, your age does not define your vitality. Small changes create freedom, confidence, and satisfaction. I'm Dr. Narita, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of your health, your body, and your relationships because you deserve nothing less.